Hello and welcome to the lesson where we'll be discussing operators in Java. So during this lesson, we will discuss the following topics: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and assignment operators. So, an operator is a symbol that performs a specific operation on one or more operands. In Java, we have a variety of operators such as arithmetic, comparison, logical, and assignment operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The basic arithmetic operators in Java are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder. On the current screen, you can see the symbol that represents each operator. So for addition, we use plus, for subtraction, we use minus, for multiplication, we use asterisk, for division, we use slash, and for the remainder, we use the percent sign. For example, consider the following snippet. Let's define variable a, int a equals 10, int b equals 20, and now let's define variable c, and c equals a plus b. Let's also print the value of variable c to the console. So in this example, we have two variables, a and b, with the values 10 and 20 respectively. We are using the addition operator plus to add the values of a and b and storing the result in a new variable c. The result of this operation is 30, which is then printed to the console using the systemout.println method. So let's run the program and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, 30 was printed to the console. And similarly, we can use the subtraction or minus and multiplication or asterisk and division or slash operators to perform mathematical operations. So let's update our example in the following way. Let's also define the variable d, and d will equal b minus a. Let's also define e, which equals a multiplied by b. And finally, let's define variable f, which equals b divided by a. And again, let's print all of them. Let's print d, e, and f. So in this example, we are subtracting a from b and storing the result in d. After that, we multiplying a and b and storing the result in e. And finally, we are dividing b by a and storing the result in f. Afterwards, we print all of them. So let's run the program and check. Okay, so as you can see, all the results are printed. So 30 is the result of the addition operation. 10 is the result of the subtraction operation. E, or 200, it's the result of the multiplication operation. 20 multiplied by 10 is 200. And finally, 2 is the result of the division operation. So b divided by a, or 20 divided by 10, is 2. And lastly, there is a remainder operator, or percent sign, which returns the remainder of division of two numbers. So let's update our example again and define int variable g, which equals b remainder a. So in this case, b will be divided by a, and the remainder of this operation will be assigned to variable g. So let's print the value to the console and see the output. So in this particular case, g will be 0 because 20 divided by 10 has remainder 0. As you can see at the output, 0 was printed. Let's update this example in the following way. So let's, no, 10 and 3. So 10 will be divided by 3, and the remainder of this operation, or 1, will be assigned to variable g. So as I mentioned, the remainder of this operation is 1, so 1 will be assigned to g, and afterwards it will be printed at the console. So let's run the program and see the output. Okay, as you can see, 1 was printed to the console. It's important to keep in mind that arithmetic operators follow the order of operations, just like in mathematics. And in order to remember all of them, you can use the abbreviation you see at the screen. So P is parentheses, E is exponents, M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. If you want to change the order of operations, you can use parentheses. So as you can see at the demo 1, we declared 3 variables, A, B, and C. After that, we declare the fourth variable called age, and age equals sum of A and B multiplied by C. And in this particular case, we don't want to multiply only B. We want to multiply the sum of A and B. Thus, we use parentheses. That concludes our discussion on arithmetic operators in Java. And don't forget to try out the examples on your own to get a better understanding of how these operators work. Let's discuss comparison operators, which are used to compare values in Java. So let's talk about the most basic comparison operator, the equal to operator. So this operator compares if two values are equal to each other. For example, if we have two variables, x and y, and we want to check if they are equal, we can use the following code. So let's define variable x equals 5, int y equals 5 as well. And now let's print to the console the results of their comparison. X equal to y. And in this example, the output will be true because x and y are equal. So let's run the program and see the output. Okay, so we can see that true was printed to the console. Next, we have the not equal to operator. And this operator compares if two values are not equal to each other. So using the same variables from the previous example, we can use the following code to check if x and y are not equal. So let's also use system out print line, and let's print the result if x and y are not equal. And here is an operator. So in this case, we will have two print statements. First one will print true, and second one will print false. So let's run the program and see that it works correctly. Okay, so the following is printed to the console. X equals y is true, and x not equal to y is false. We also have the greater than and less than operators. And these operators compare if one value is greater than or less than another value. For example, let's say we have two variables, a and b, and we want to check if a is greater than b. Then we will write the following. So let's define variables. Int a equals 10 and int b equals 5. So now let's print if a is greater than b. This is a greater than operator. So in this case, the output will be true because a is greater than b. So let's run the program and see the result. Okay, as I mentioned, the result is true. And similarly, if we want to check if A is less than B, we can use the following code. So let's also print it to the console, and let's print if A is less than B. And this will output false because A is not less than B. Let's run it and see that now it prints true and then false. Okay, so it printed true for the first check and false for the second one. We also have the greater than or equal to operator and less than or equal to operator. So these operators compare if one value is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to another value. For example, let's say we have two variables C and D, and we want to check if C is greater than or equal to D. We'll write the following. So let's define the following variables. Int C equals 10, and let's also define D that will also equal to 10. Okay, so let's now print the following. If C is greater than or equal to D, the output will be true because C is equal to D. So let's run it and see. Yep, that's it. The output of this statement is true. These are the basic comparison operators in Java. When using comparison operators, it's important to keep in mind that the output will always be a Boolean value of true or false. Practice using these operators in your own code, and you will be able to use them in more complex situations such as loops or control flow statements. Let's now discuss logical operators in Java. These operators are used to perform logical operations on Boolean expressions. Okay, let's start with the AND operator, represented by the double ampersand. This operator returns true if both the expressions on either side of the operator are true. For example, consider the following code. Let's define x variable with the value 5, and let's also define y variable with value of 10. And let's print the following. We'll print if x is greater than 0 and 2 ampersands, y is greater than 0, 2. So in this example, we are comparing the value of x and y to see if they are greater than 0. Since both x and y are greater than 0, the output of this code will be true. So let's run and see the result. Yes, as you can see, the output of this code is true. Next, let's move on to the OR operator, represented by the double pipe. This operator returns true if either of the expressions on either side of the operator are true. For example, as usual, let's define variables x equals -5 and int y equals 10. Now let's print the following. If x is greater than 0 or y is greater than 0. In this example, we are comparing the value of x and y to see if either of them are greater than 0. Since y is greater than 0, the output of this code will be true. So let's run the program and see the output of the program. So the output is true, and this is correct. Finally, let's talk about the NOT operator, represented by the exclamation point. This operator returns the opposite of the Boolean expression that follows it. For example, int x equals -5, and let's print the following. Let's print if not x is greater than 0. In this example, we are checking if x is greater than 0, and since x is not greater than 0, the output of this code will be true. So let's run and see the result. Okay, so the output is true as expected. And it's important to know that logical operators have a specific order of precedence. The NOT operator is evaluated first, followed by the AND operator, and finally the OR operator. If you want to change the order of precedence, you can use the parentheses. So that's it for logical operators in Java, and make sure to practice using these operators in your own code to get better understanding of how they work. Now let's cover assignment operators in Java. Assignment operators are used to assign values to variables. The most basic assignment operator is the equals operator, which assigns the value on the right side of the operator to the variable on the left side. For example, int x equals 5. This assigns the value 5 to the variable x. You are probably already familiar with this construction. So there are also shorthand assignment operators that allow you to perform an operation and assign the result to a variable in one step. For example, the plus and equals operator adds the value on the right side to the variable on the left and assigns the result to that variable. And here's an example. So int x equals 5, and after that, let's use x plus equals 3. This is equivalent to the following: x equals x plus 3. So the following and the following are the same. And let's print the result and see the output. Let's print the value of x now. So since we assigned the following value, x equals x plus 3, it means that we assigned x equals 5 plus 3, it should be 8. So let's run the program and see the output. Okay, it's 8 as expected, so let's move on. And similarly, there are minus equals, multiply and equals, and divide and equals operators that subtract, multiply, and divide the variable on the left by the value on the right and assign the result to that variable respectively. Let's do the following. X minus equals 3. And let's also print x. After that, let's do the following. X multiply and equals 3. And let's print the value of x again. And x divide equals 3. And let's print x again. Let me leave several comments here for you. So this means exactly the same as the following. X equals x minus 3. This means exactly the same as the following, and this exactly as the following. So what will be printed to the console? As a result of this operation, 8 will be printed to the console because 5 plus 3 equals 8. After that, we expect 8 minus 3 is 5. After that, we multiply 5 by 3 is 15. And we divide it by 3 again and print 5 to the console. So let's run the program and see the output. Okay, so everything as expected. So let's move on. So it's also possible to use the shorthand operators with other data types such as strings and doubles. Let's define string name equals John. And now let's do the following. Name plus equals Doe. And let's finally print the name. So in this case, John Doe will be printed to the console because this equals to name equals name plus Doe. Let's run the program and see the output. Okay, so we can see that single line John Doe was printed. And also let's do the very same thing with double. Double num equals 3.14, for example. And now let's do the following. Num equals, num multiply and equals 2. So we'll multiply this value by 2. And let's print the value of num to the console. And run the program. Okay, so we can see that the value was doubled. Using shorthand assignment operators can make your code shorter and easier to read. And it's important to be familiar with all of the assignment operators available in Java, as they can come in handy in a variety of situations. Okay, so that's it for the lesson. Thank you for your attention and see you on the next one. Bye.